Good day. Are we in the middle of Book of Revelations? Is this the end time apocalypse story we're living out right now? There is a comet heading towards the Earth right now. It's going to potentially hit us in 2029. It's called Apophis. Look it up. They believe it's going to come so close to Earth, but not hit us, that it'll be closer to Earth than satellites. And so there is it going to hit us? It does line up. They believe that Jesus died in about 30 AD, 30 AD, right? And we're talking about April 13th, Friday the 13th, 2029, 2,000 years, when they believe that the second coming is going to be 2,000 years later, and there's a lot of people, if anybody missed it, but a couple of years ago, they're talking about how a certain person we know was fulfilling biblical prophecy. Here, have a listen to this.
The other news swirling around the embassy's move to Jerusalem is what it could signal as part of biblical prophecy.
Donald Trump recognized history. He, like King Cyrus before him, fulfilled the biblical prophecy.
Donald Trump, okay, he's fulfilling part of the biblical prophecy that's leading up to this. I don't know if you know who Greg Laurie is, but if you look up any stories about this being end times, he's one of the leaders of the mega evangelical churches in the United States. And people don't realize how powerful these forces are. Like, they're actually developing foreign policy around biblical prophecy. The Greg Laurie is meets up and advises Donald Trump, and he's you can take a look, you'll find him, and he's what they call the Christian Zionists. But there's actual Jews in Jerusalem called anti-Zionist Jews, and they believe that they need to free Palestine. Like, they believe that there should never, none of this stuff should have happened until the second coming. So there's a lot of people that believe different things and have chose to ignore certain parts of Scripture, or to just look at them in a different way. I also know that a big part of a cult is the fact that they use prophecies or twist prophecies, or try to gain power as pretending to be holy. We've seen that's Antichrist consciousness. So I do believe we're in time of Antichrist. What is the Antichrist? Well, it's 666. They said. Well, I believe that there's a lot of people that believe Bill Gates is 666, and I do believe that there is Antichrist, but I also believe the story Revelations is so far out there, and it does seem to be very close to the end time story of Enoch, but this is a much older story. If you look at the history of Revelations, it was written around 70 to 96 AD, right after Emperor Nero was torturing Christians and hanging them and burning them. That was like serious Antichrist, and his name actually breaks down to 666. So I more see it, Revelations is not a story that's going to happen yet, more of a revenge fantasy. And there's other people that believe that. That's not my idea. That it's more like trying to scare people away from the dark ways. But there is important parts about it. For example, should we take a mark from somebody to be a part of, if they hold things away from us and try to use our five senses, our flesh, which is 666, by the way, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 6 protons. So if we fall for this world and give this world the pleasure just to be ruled by an evil force, it's it's a measure of strength to be so independent that you can say, no, I'm not taking your mark like a cattle, right? So there's important parts of the book, and people that even speak the way I'm speaking are heathens. You know what I mean? Because I believe it in the allegorical importance of this book. You should understand that most people throw this book out altogether. A lot of people. So we should see the importance of the messages in here and what they're trying to say to us. There's stuff written between the lines. It's so deep that I don't understand 90% of what's going on in here, and that's actually more of a mystery, and it can be exciting rather than throwing it out. But I do question why the Ethiopian book has 81 books, and including this book, which is, to me, what I see more happening in the world, and it talks more about a great judgment up in the heavens, but also down here on earth, right? And there's some contradicting messages in here from some of these books, so that's why this one was thrown out. But there's also some other reasons, and it does show that we kind of a end time story. Then it gets quite dark, and it goes into the great judgment, and it talks about these beasts that are as above so below, though the judgment is up in the heavens, and the angels and all the demons, but they're also talking about as it's down here too, the judgment is happening here. And as you can see, look at all the evil being exposed. And as we awaken, because this is known as the Great Awakening, also in the ascensions, in a time of ascension, right? And an ascension, I believe it's a psychological ascension, or a rapture, a psychological rapture. Because when you are raptured up to a higher consciousness, then then the fear doesn't grip you like it grips everybody else in this great time of fear. And it's 99.9% psychological. It's all psychological if you can be that powerful, But the point is should we? The other reasons why I'm less inclined to look at Book of Revelations as something that's going to happen for sure, and is even if it is a thing that might happen, is it useful psychological to believe that we're going to have destruction on the earth and I'm going to get pulled off out of this physical realm, so it doesn't matter anymore what's going on here? And because I've been a saint, and and a lot of people probably believe they're actually been saints and they are not being raptured or ascending to higher consciousness because of their karma, but they believe they were going to be raptured. But the people that believe this is absolutely true believe they're going to float off in the clouds and be with God, and leave this realm. That's the idea they get, but that's not it. You do float up into the clouds and you be with God, but you're also here. And that's recognizing your connection to the 5-dimensional consciousness, right? So I believe in these stories meaning things. I don't want people to, even the saints, if they're like, well, this is all going soon, so I might as well just go home and pray all day long and not get involved with any change or help out. You can be, if you believe in a rapture, that this world's about to end and you're going to go up into the clouds with God, then why would you help out to try to make things better for other people during these hard times? And why would you even, there's importance now of building a new world. And if this is the Enoch version of the story, means we are going into a golden age, then we need to work on building it now. It takes time for us to push this evil to the side, and in that time we still have to build this new world, right? And if you believe it is the end and it is the apocalypse, and the true meaning of apocalypse is a rebirth, right? It's going to be an intense time, but we go into birth into a new realm. And this has happened lined up with some very particular star patterns and times in the universe. or in this universe that are very important. So, yes, I believe we're at very important times, but do I think it's useful to think the world's going to end? Even if it is going to, maybe that comet will hit us, It is, they're talking, NASA says it's going to come so freaking close, but it's not going to hit us. Well, I don't know how they have that much of an accuracy to know that it's not going to hit us. So, however, it's not going to be, my belief is it's not going to hit us. I believe NASA in this situation. If you're a flat earther, then, I don't know, is there comets can a comet come into a flat earth? I'm not too sure. So anyways, much love. Remember, it's not these prophecies that Donald Trump is fulfilling is all based on race, like moving one race into another place of land because that's their land. That stuff to me is pathological. It's in your heart to know that we're gonna push somebody else out to put somebody in. It happened right after World War II. If you look what happened to the Jews pushing the Palestinians out, and the Palestinians are also, a lot of them are Jews. So, we need to be very careful with any of these race games. I don't care if it's in the Bible. There's frigging dark stuff in the Bible. We should not, there's stuff in the Bible that allowed people to be virtuous around slavery. All right? So we should not be virtuous around moving races around because it's their land. That's dangerous. And so that's why the Bible, to me, is a book that we should learn from, but not take as absolute, or else you're going to take on some of the pathological parts of it. And a lot of it can be to do with racism and sexism and, xenophobia, all sorts of things, So, is it useful to think the world's going to end, that Revelations is happening? I don't believe so. Is it useful to know the stories because they are telling you something? Yes. Do I believe the story is happening? No. Do I believe it's coming to the end of the world? No, I believe it's end of our world and an understanding of a society and a birth into a new one. So let's help each other through this birthing pains and be part of the change. You are voting with your words. Okay, much love.